I wish I got that on tape, man. Oh my God. What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to State of the WWE episode 86. I think it's 86. Jake, how are you?
It's Monday.
Finish
That's how I'm
it.
doing.
Sorry, I don't know. I just had to do it again.
I know.
So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I really wasn't going to talk about the RYBACK deal, but because he talked about me for 10 minutes on his podcast, I'll mention it again.
Yeah, well, also I wanted to bring it up to you because
let's wait till
like
later. Let's tease it. All right. We'll talk about RYBACK in a few. We'll talk about what happened. You piece of crap, Joe. I can't do RYBACK's voice very well.
Especially after this.
He did technically accept my apology, though. I think a little bit, but we'll talk about it later. WrestleMania 33 last night, such a big story. The Hardys, oh my God, dude. I mean, first of all, I want to talk about the Hardys because, for weeks and weeks, why are you covering the Hardys? This isn't WWE and all this stuff. And, after covering TNA a little bit with the minute this whole thing started with the Broken Brilliance and Matt Hardy becoming broken, from covering this from the start, its infancy, then to being to making videos on it, then to being acknowledged by Matt Hardy himself for my reactions to what he was doing, then to calling the Hardy Boys matches
live and in person,
and then meeting them multiple times. Sorry, I'm dying. Them being so good, and now it kind of culminating with them returning to WWE after covering the ROH thing and them leaving TNA. I mean, this has just been a wild freaking ride.
It really has been. I mean, if you think about what you've gone through in the past, 72 hours or so, it's been incredible. And then to figure their journey on top of it, we've watched them transcend their image, what they were. They were able to reinvent themselves, and that is so difficult to do in the wrestling business. It is next to impossible to change the mindset of who you are in the fans' eyes. Think about the last time where somebody's been able to bring about a new gimmick and have it so widely accepted and beloved. I can't recall.
No, and so hated at first. At first, it was almost like everybody was hating on it, and then more and more people jumped on the wagon, like real quick. And it wasn't even that everybody jumped on the bandwagon, as much as it just took everyone a little bit of time to understand what was going on and
to accept it and allow it to, because it was so out there, it's so outlandish. I mean, this would be as if Stardust got over huge. Exactly. He went total psycho. Next level on all the fans. And like I said, when you first showed me that damn video with Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. And I'm like, what is this? They are making a mockery of wrestling. This is ridiculous. Then I watched it again. I caught on to the little niche things that he was doing and the little social cues and all his, Meek Mahan. And it was brilliant. It truly was next level brilliant. It was nothing like we've ever seen before in the wrestling business. And I was just totally enamored. How could you not be captivated? And everybody wanted to know what Matt and Jeff were going to do next. Then he deleted his brother. Then they're back together. That it leads for them to do the Expedition of Gold. They're tag team champions all over the world. I mean, in the last 30 days, they've been TNA, then ROH, now WWE Raw tag team champions. It's incredible.
They played everybody.
It's outstanding. I'm my vocabulary isn't as extensive as Dave's, but
it really is wonderful.
It's wonderful and glorious.
And it's too bad we don't have Dave here because if he calls, I'll put him on because I'd love to hear what he has to say. But I'm sure we'll get him on soon to talk about this.
Absolutely, but
very controversial WrestleMania to some people last night, I guess. I loved it. I loved it because I was entertained enough. First, I started getting angry at the beginning. Like, once Jericho was over, I was like, man, those two matches are already gone. What the fuck are they doing? And I was like, we're screwed. Like, this is not good. Like, this can't be. I mean, those are going to be the best matches. And boy, was I completely wrong. WWE knew what they were doing the whole time. There's been other times with it where it didn't come out that way, but I think they did. I loved last night. I don't care.
Yeah, the layout of the matches was very bizarre. But like weird. You said, it was a poetic justice of such because they gave Undertaker his swan song think about WrestleMania 30. After, the 3 count and Undertaker's shoulders stayed on the mat, the arena, you could hear a pin drop. There wasn't even a boo yet. Like, no one could catch their breath. The wind was knocked out of that audience. And yeah, Daniel Bryan got a great ovation from the crowd, but I think had the Undertaker not lost, it would have been even more explosive. So they knew what they were doing.
The Undertaker. Anybody that says the Undertaker's match shouldn't have been last is out of their mind. You do not follow the Undertaker there. Nobody follows the Undertaker there. It's ridiculous. Anybody that says that is crazy. Who's calling me? I don't even know who that is.
Speaking of the Undertaker, him and Goldberg are not scheduled to appear tonight either.
Well,
so Undertaker's not going to come out. Some people had said, I imagine he'll come out and say something like a thank you, and I don't think we're going to see him probably till Hall of Fame time.
I assume so. I don't think maybe you won't see him on TV ever again. To be honest, I mean,
might not. I mean,
I might do that. If I was him.
Yeah, I mean, no matches have been advertised for Raw, but WWE is promoting the following storylines. It's My Yard now, Bow Down to the Kingslayer Seth Rollins, the Hardy Homecoming, the List of Owens, and Champion of the Universe, new WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar.
I almost feel like this is the night, Triple H's army or whatever he's doing, Samoa Joe.
Is going to come to fruition.
Yeah, all these guys are going to show up now. Seth got the win. How about that? I keep going back to that match because we expected this to be... This is what we wanted. We actually ended up getting what we wanted all along last night, which was a awesome match with Seth Rollins and Triple H. But we're like, Seth can't make it. And then how injured is he? Well, he's not. He's a little injured, but he's not as injured as they're saying he is. But last night, they actually had a match. That was no interference. Nothing weird.
Outside, interruptions. Stephanie a little bit, but nothing that impacted the match to where it would take away from our score. So.
What did you think? This is a match that I kind of want to watch again.
I actually did go back and watch it again, and I enjoyed it even more the second time because I was expecting so much the first time in the sense of I'm like, all right, when is Samoa Joe and Finn going to show up? Is that going to happen? Is Finn going to turn on Seth? Is Mick Foley going to run out? Like I was too focused on the what ifs rather than enjoying the match.
Nobody was running out that ramp.
Yeah, no one was. They would have had to come from under the ring, but the psychology behind Triple H's mindset. He came in with a plan to work on that knee the entire time, and the spots they did have were perfectly executed.
Dude, Triple H took a back body drop or a reversal off the top rope. He took a suplex off the top rope. Those were things that I was surprised about, to be honest. And they did some other stuff that I was surprised about. And
the fight for the pedigree was cool to see who was going to get the finisher, and the buckle bomb looked great.
They had great chemistry. I almost want to say they had close to the chemistry of Shawn Michaels and Triple H at SummerSlam. They was close to that. It wasn't that, but it was close. And I'm not joking. And dude,
the last time there was a non-sanctioned match too? Was Triple H and HBK?
Non-sanctioned match? I doubt it is good.
I'm pretty sure, and
it's the last one I remember, maybe, but I'm sure there must have been one sometime in there, But yeah,
dude,
they did it. That match was great.
They gelled together so well. It really does harken back to HBK and Triple H. So I can see your point.
And listen, for anybody that says, I crap all over it. I love these fucking idiots out there who, I shit on, 9 out of 10 things. Not because I want to, but because I call it the way I see it. If I hate something, I'm going to tell you. If I like it, I'm going to tell you. You had these dumb motherfuckers on Twitter oh, Joe, you suck up. Some guy actually compared me to Sam Roberts earlier. What a fucking psychopath you are. Nobody can compare to a guy who's in the WWE's pocket. Have you heard me shitting on the WWE? You'll be blocked instantly because you're a fucking idiot and you don't listen to my show. I actually started getting angry at WrestleMania in the first fucking 2 matches. I was tweeting out crazy shit because I was mad. I was like, these matches are already out of the way. Fuck this. And why isn't the IC title on the show?
Yeah, like you said, the placement was so bizarre.
But you know what? It worked out. It was perfect because, dude...
It ended up being perfect. They saved themselves.
Well, we didn't know. I don't know if they saved themselves. We just didn't know what they were doing. Now we know. They knew what they were doing. I just didn't know it, and I jumped the gun. AJ Styles versus Shane was a little slow, but it was really good, and people loved it, and they did a bunch of spot things, and it was cool.
That shooting star press that Shane did.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Even Brock couldn't execute that properly. That was excellent, you know?
Yeah, that was really awesome. I mean, I'm sorry.
The table spot was great. The switching it up and going into, the Styles Clash and having Shane kick out of it, people were pissed off about that. Of course, everybody's kicked out of the Styles Clash in WWE, so it's not as protected as it was like in TNA or even, New Japan. But still, to see him kick out, I thought that was a great moment too, It
entertained me. I mean, that's all I'll say is the match entertained me. It was a little it was a little rough at times with Shane and AJ, but it really entertained me. So thank you for that. That's all I fucking care about.
Shane's not even really considered a wrestler. He is in my eyes, but in most fans, he's just a general manager. So for him to come out and tear down the house like he did, hats off to him. Total respect.
Yeah, he's an amazing performer, entertainer, and Shane, man, what a fucking badass. I love you, Shane. And listen, Kevin Owens and Jericho, little match, it was all right. I think that really, for the story they had, that should have been a little better. It almost looked like it was a little rushed. Couple little good moments, but a good little match. It wasn't. I thought maybe it would be like an 8. I think that match was like a 6-5. Or a 7, maybe, something like that. So, Shane and AJ, I'd give that match probably on it because of it to entertain me. I'd probably give it an 8.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And just to add a little bit of news to it, AJ said that whoever has the championship, I want it. AJ hugged fellow club member Carl Anderson after his match with Shane McMahon, and he went on to state that, whoever has the championship, I want it. So now AJ said since he beat Shane, he's going for the title.
Well, there you go. So we'll go after Orton, I guess, which is another story, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So those two matches happened. I give the Owens-Jericho a 6-5 and the Shane-AJ an 8. And I'll give, and because Owens and AJ was a little, Owens and Jericho, it was a little bit shorter. It was like, I don't know how long the match was, 12 minutes or something like that, but...
Yeah, roughly. The ending was just a little bit too abrupt. My network actually froze right as Jericho was in the air about to hit the apron, and then all of a sudden, by the time it came back, Owens' music was playing. So I was like, all right, how did he win? And then they showed the recap, and I'm like, that's it? Just the outside apron powerbomb and then the pinfall? It was a little bit jarring. Like, they did so much.
Yeah.
The pop-up powerbomb into the code breaker and the reverse walls of Jericho, them both putting on the submission hold just to lead into the one apron powerbomb felt a little dissatisfying. So
yeah,
it felt rushed. It did feel rushed at the end there. Like the ref said, all right, finish it, All
right, well, we're back. I just hit the button. So after Jericho... I don't remember the order. I don't have it written down me up here. Actually, yes, I do. I have it right here. Hold on. I have my notes, too, even better.
Excellent.
Okay, so wonderful. There's the women's four-way elimination match, which was, like, at times was, like, pretty good, but then most of it wasn't, so... Like most of it
wasn't awful. It really wasn't. It's just that
if that was a Raw match with all of them, it would have been like, well, that was a good little Raw match with those guys, with those girls, Well,
yeah.
I don't know. And it came to me during the match when everyone was holding up the Bayley signs. That's when I went, oh my God, Bayley's going to win this, and I tweeted it out. But I think Nia Jax had been eliminated already at that point.
Yeah, she was out right away. I mean, they did somewhat protect her by having, the three of them hold her down to pin her, but...
Yeah, it took 3 of them to pin her, and they kind of cheated. I didn't even know you could do that. And then, but when I saw the Bayley signs, I started thinking, man, they don't do that stuff for Sasha right now. So it's almost like, yeah, they want Bayley to be the big girl commercial show thing. They just don't I don't know what they're thinking. It's almost like they put the belt on all of them, too, to be like, let's see who does the best with this.
That, and then this way they can say, like, they can't be blamed for, preferring one over the other. Like, oh, well, she was the champion at this point in time. Like, in the sense of equality, like, everybody had a chance, excluding Nia, but I'm sure she'll get her point. But, yeah, between the 3 of them, they were the 4 horsewomen minus Becky. It's kind of like a story that should have written itself, but they just screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, and it wasn't the best thing. I would give that match I'd probably give that match a 6. I think Bayley loved it. I think probably JD hated it, and I probably fall somewhere towards the lower middle, like the.
I think it would have been better had she won the title at Mania. I that's what my problem is. You know, I don't understand why they put it on her at Raw and why they gave Naomi the belt back at Elimination Chamber. It just, it was like 2 feel-good moments just for the sake of feel-good when Mania should have been the main focus.
Well, like I'm throwing out all that stuff because the Raw just sucks with booking and stuff. Like these women are booked like shit. So I'm just throwing out the booking, the storylines and all that shit because it's all shit. I'm legitimately just telling you how I felt about the match itself, and I would give the match itself like a 6.5 probably because of and it would probably lower itself if not for Charlotte's corkscrew. Even the turnbuckle pad being exposed, it wasn't exposed enough. I don't know if that's how much they're supposed to expose it. The metal was out, I guess, and I like that the 2 people went down because of the buckle, including Bayley hitting her knee off it. That was kind of cool.
That was cool.
Nia Jax sold a kick to the face and then almost broke her neck because she oversold the kick, but then was being suplexed. So she pushed her momentum through, and she could have gotten hurt on that. And it was a devastating not neck breaker, a German suplex move.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So there were things in it that I remember. Like there's some things about many matches I couldn't remember one damn thing. I think I'll remember for a while that match. If you bring up the match to me, I'll remember those things happening, but I may forget this match happened at WrestleMania. I'm not even joking. I might forget that match happened at Mania.
I hear you there loud and clear. Like I said, because, Bayley retaining, had she won the title, I think it would have made it that much more memorable and special. And Charlotte really, my God, she looked like gold in that match. Her with that, splash she did from the top rope to the outside. That lariat move was incredible. Paul Heyman even sang her praises last night. He said, "I'm getting tired of people who keep saying how Charlotte is, in quotes, one of, if not the best, female in-ring performers." He said, "The compliment is mitigated by the designation of Charlotte as a female. The talent depth in terms of first-class in-ring performers is at an all-time high, and few can match Charlotte's ability." So he's saying not just male, or female, but just in terms of wrestlers, she's one of the best today. And he also says that she should be the first woman to headline a WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be tough with the quality of matches they've put on in big spots. But I love her. I mean, she really did a great job last night for all the fun that everybody makes of Charlotte and stuff like that. Last night, Charlotte carried the match. So
yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt. I don't know if she carried the match, but she definitely was one of the best in the match, or got to do the best stuff. I don't know how, whatever. So that match to me was a 6. So, I'm trying to justify. I gave this show an 8 last night, and I'm trying to justify the rating right now. And
I'm at a 6.5 myself there.
Wow.
So.
The whole show?
No, for that match.
Okay. Yeah, so I gave that a 6.5. Jericho, I think I gave that did I do the same thing, a 6 or something like that?
I gave that a 7. I did enjoy it. I think the ending was a little bit rushed. Had the ending been a little bit more definitive, it would have gotten a higher score. But because they want to keep the feud going, because now tonight it's going to be the list of Kevin Owens. We're going to see that going into Raw. So
I'll give it a 7 because it was shorter too. I like the idea that not much came from it, and there wasn't that much stuff going on. But because it ended, the timing, I'm giving credit to matches for timing, like matches that don't go too long, matches that are short enough, matches that were at a 10 the whole time. I enjoy that. So anyway, moving on from that, it was then we got, I think, the tag team ladder match, the Hardys return. It was just really exciting to watch it. I mean, they could have almost done anything, and it was exciting. It wasn't the greatest match ever, but it was a well-done ladder match in this day and age, and it ended up going above that when Jeff Hardy dove off the top of that ladder.
Oh,
So-
absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to find the article here now. Dixie Carter even congratulates the Hardy Boys. She went ahead and tweeted out, "Love this pick. Congrats to WWE for this great get. Can't say enough about these two." And she tagged Matt Hardy and Jeff and said hashtag WrestleMania with some hearts. So that's pretty cool. And it's the boys, holding up the tag titles. And Baby Hardy, you have, Maxwell climbing up a ladder with a WrestleMania-like diaper on. It's very cute,
That's awesome.
So-
Where do they get all these weird logos for his diapers? Like, this is constantly
I don't know.
going on.
It's bless Rebby for that one. She's
She's doing maybe
clothing
she's screen
genius.
printing his diapers. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they must have a printing machine on premise.
They
or
just
something.
carry it with them everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Well,
They trolled us good too with the picture of them on the plane, or in the airport getting ready to leave, saying thank you to everybody. We saw the WWE car, that was reported everywhere earlier in the day, and even then, I still didn't want to believe it. I wanted them there, I wanted to believe it, but I'm saying like I didn't. It just didn't convince me at that point.
yeah, I mean, I thought they might come out, but I was like, maybe they'll come out on Raw. And I just didn't. This is one of those things that you'd have to see to believe. And
exactly. Now I'm tired of people complaining about the broken. They're still broken. Just give it a chance. We haven't even seen what they have to offer.
Well, it's
yet.
weird. In a WWE exclusive, they're not broken, and then in another WWE exclusive with the titles, they're half broken.
Yeah, because the first WWE exclusive you're talking about in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they knew that was necessarily going to be like shown to. It didn't seem like they thought like this. Like they knew it was being recorded, but I don't know. It just seemed like I don't think they knew that was going to go up on WWE.com.
Yeah, every time they've been on camera with a promo, they've been broken, or they've been like at least a hybrid. Like even Matt was like, "We're just really happy to be back here because it's wonderful." Like he's not fully like, "We are really happy to be here because it is wonderful." Like remember he used to speak like that. Like he's kind of sort of thrown. He
calmed down on the accent a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you said, that hybrid comment is perfect, Joe. I mean, that really encapsulates everything that we're seeing from them. And the thing that I really enjoyed was, like you said, we still have the catchphrases. They're still doing the delete chants, all of it. But I said last night on the review, most of the fans there are the hardcore, die-hard fans, obviously. But there's still, a good portion. There was 1.66, I believe, million subscribers on the network watching last night, which is great for the WWE. That's up from the 1.5 million last year. They went ahead, not everybody's going to know the broken gimmick. So for them to come out with the Team Extreme theme song, I'm okay with that. People were upset about that. I don't see why. It's a recognizable theme.
No, yeah, because once again, this goes into the argument that I've been having for a long time. You bring Sasha up, you bring somebody up, and 20 to 30% of the crowd knows who they are. And if it's a smart crowd, then everybody might know. But so many people don't know who they are, so the story isn't there. The story that you know in your head that's hyped you about this person isn't there for like 60% of the audience. So it doesn't make sense. While greedily, I want them to come out to something and be broken and stuff. The story isn't there. You would be like, it would be like I'm trying to think. It would be like, what's a movie? It would be like the who plays Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr.
It would be like Robert Downey Jr. coming out and being like, you know what I mean, to a giant crowd and saying, "Guess who's here?" And then that crowd not knowing that he played Iron Man. So like, or or whatever. So that's a bad analogy, but like something
I have
like
a better
that.
analogy.
Give me a good one.
When they go ahead in Iron Man and they, at the end credits they showed Thanos. Only 10% of the crowd was pumped because they knew who Thanos was, and oh crap, this is going to be the Avengers storyline and all that. The rest of the crowd is like, who the hell is this purple guy?
Right.
So only the die-hard, hardcore fans, that have followed the story through and through, know it. So that's why they have to go ahead and explain and build.
Yeah, and
that's why it's hard for NXT gimmicks to get over.
It's still not the analogy though. Like the analogy would be like, because it's like. It's like they're not doing it because they can't, because nobody knows what it is. So anyway, whatever. It's That's why they did it. They did the thing that everybody would recognize. They knew that
Yes.
the crowd that loves the delete stuff and that knows the broken deal, that part of the crowd is going to know who they are, and they're going to pop. So there's no loss in just doing that, because then everyone's going to cheer, and the people that remember them but don't know what they're doing now, they'll cheer too, because they'll just think the Hardy Boys are back. So it was the safe and right decision.
Absolutely.
And I give the match an 8 too, which ties the AJ Shane. And someone might be saying, Joe, what are you, crazy? The Shane and AJ thing was better as far as the wrestling goes. You're right, but when I do ratings, I'm factoring in excitement, the crowd, the match, the wrestling, everything. And so to me it equaled an 8. Maybe the excitement, if I mark all these things individual, wrestling, excitement, spots, story, and I mark all those things down, excitement, it's at a 10, once they come out there.
At first I'm like, it's going to be the New Day.
Yeah. They did a good, if they had really started walking, I almost wish they started walking down to the ring and then they stopped and be like, wait a minute, do you guys? It's not us, Yeah. I would be like, wait, it was still really good though, but they were strength of time. But
yeah.
What's what did you think of that? What would you give the match?
I completely exploded. I marked out 110%. I lost my damn voice at that point. I was so excited. The match was great. Jeff going off the ladder through the other 2 ladders.
Through one ladder, and he catapulted himself off the damn thing.
Yeah. Carl Anderson tweeted out last night at WrestleMania, Matt and Jeff returned. It wasn't fair. We weren't prepared for the Hardy brothers. Time to delete them. So I'm looking forward to the Hardys' homecoming tonight. Just everything going forward. I'm excited. People immediately were like, oh, well, this means they're on Raw. This is awful. Think about what we're getting. We're going to see the Club versus the Hardy Boys. No, it hasn't been the Club that everybody desired and wanted, but I think it could be good for going forward. I think this is the shot of adrenaline that Raw needed for the tag division at this point in time. And I also don't think they're going to be a tag team for that long either. Keep that in mind. I think they are going to split them up at some point, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, moving on real quick, kind of re-reviewing here to kind of break it down for you. Jeff, that huge move off the top was great. I don't know if he went through the middle of the ladders, it might have hurt. So he actually nailed it. But Cena and the Miz, what's funny, the better story, the matches we felt were better built, didn't have the best matches.
No, that's true.
That was it was okay. It was good seeing it. I don't remember too much about it. I was a little bit distracted at that match.
I loved everything but the ending, Joe. I really felt like John Cena was going to propose. We knew this was going to happen. Let The Miz get the win. The Miz is still going to be there Thursday. Cena's taking time off. Nikki's taking time off. What does Miz get out of this? And I loved how over he was. The Miz getting so much attention from the crowd. They were loving and eating everything up that he did. Him mocking Daniel Bryan with the yes chants and the kicks, and everything about it was just perfect. And I think everybody had a hard time digesting the Superman Cena once again. We haven't seen this side of Cena in a long time. And that's what I used to despise about him, where he'd get beat for 20 minutes straight and then come back with 2 moves and win,
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the match. I was excited about the fans cheering for Miz because of the hard work and the raising, the elevation of the game of the Miz. And Maurice has helped with that as well, and so hasn't John Cena. All 4 of these people, for the most part, have really done a really good job, and great little thing, great story, I think, going in, I don't mind.
Amazing story. That was one of the ones I was looking forward to the most. I just wanted to see Maurice, the former Divas champion, get to wrestle more. She barely gotten any offense.
Yeah, well, I didn't
going forward, maybe we'll see more from her. I
don't know. I didn't think we were going to see much on her end, to be honest. But I don't know what I'd give this. I maybe give that match a 7 or a 6.5. But it was okay. Okay, little thing. I give it a 6.5. I give that match a 6.5 again. That's another 6.5.
I'm at a 6 here. Like I said, I pretty much spoke my piece there. I think The Miz is definitely, for doing his dues last night, gonna end up being the champion soon enough on SmackDown. Everybody said, I mean, Triple H sang his praises all weekend long, saying he's one of the best heels today, and doing a great job. So I think, he's definitely earned his spot.
Real quick honorable mention is Neville and Aries earlier in the night. I would give that a 7.5 or an 8. Good match in the pre-show.
I was definitely around an 8 myself. I really enjoyed that match, and I really think Austin would have won had it not been on the pre-show, but because they didn't have enough of a crowd, in attendance yet, and they knew that they were going to be able to continue the feud, I called it exactly as it happened. I said, we'll get a heel move, which was the eye rake into Neville, retaining. Yeah. So
I just thought he'd win. I didn't talk about how, but I just thought Neville would win.
Yeah, you knew,
I think we nailed well, no, there was a few things that were different. But anyway, that moves on to Triple H and Seth Rollins. This is a match that I really, again, I said I have to watch this again. Because I'm not sure if this match maybe was better than Shane and AJ, or if I would like it more. I need to watch them both. I'm not sure yet. It was definitely the most, it was the most wrestling in a wrestling match we got all night, I think. That was the classic wrestling match. It really was. Like, Shane and AJ had to go to all the, a few little big moves and spotty things, which was fine, but that's what that match needed to survive. But Triple H and Seth Rollins was a classic wrestling match story. So I almost want to give that an 8.5.
I'm right there with you at an 8.5. The entrance, I didn't know if we were watching WrestleMania or Chips, the California Highway Patrol. That was cool, though. The motorcade, the motorcycle, Stephanie's ass and sitting on that motorcycle, man, all of the above. It was excellent. Seeing him rev the engine. A lot of people were saying The Undertaker was upset that he didn't get the bike, that was funny.
They stole The Undertaker's deal.
I really liked it, especially with the whole motif that he had with the leather vest and he looked like a true king of kings, and it was just really epic. Even Seth coming out as the Gold Power Ranger with his the fire that hit the ramp and it went down all digital like. I think they should have added a little bit more pyro or added pyro to it. It would have made it that much more emphatic, but. Yeah, as far as the match goes, like you said, they told a great story in ring, focusing on the injury. They even redid the spot that originally injured Seth.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Where he buckled his knee. That was great.
Oh,
what a
my
callback,
God, dude. Yeah, that was a great callback, and it was a great dude. There were so many little things. That's why, I think we should review this match by itself at some point. And I just have so much respect and admiration and appreciation for Triple H and Seth Rollins and for what went into this, because it was so well done, dude. I mean, not to suck ass, because that we crap on people here sometimes too, but this was, I'm sorry, I flipped on this show really quick. I went from this is awful to this was great. And
Stephanie
the whole thing
going
was
through the table.
Stephanie goes through the table. Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
The fight for the pedigree, Triple H becoming enraged when Stephanie went through the table. The buckle bomb was great. Even the rest holds and the ref bump. I mean, everything. It was just, all of it was fantastic.
It was so well done, and it was, man, this is a wrestling match. And I do, even though I loved AJ and Shane, that was more of a big fight type of thing. It did mix into wrestling, because AJ is so AJ Styles is the best wrestler in the company right now. So, but because he was working with Shane, they did some things a little bit differently, but still really well. And we gave that an 8. But yeah, I'd go 8.5 on this, just because they had to pull this stuff off with just pure, basically wrestling without going to these. Certain little spots to do things. So I give them more credit.
Never went to the extreme. We didn't have to see the jump off the stage or these, high risk maneuvers with little payoff. They really stuck to working a wrestling match. Yeah, and I can't give them enough credit for that.
Triple H looked insane, by the way. He looks really good. Triple H is working out big time. He worked really hard to look like he did or whatever. So big time suck up to the boss man. All right, so then Orton, I believe Orton versus Bray. This I'm so happy that theatrically this looked pretty cool, and that they did some cool theatrics, because if not for those, I would never remember this match. They had a typical they had exactly what I thought a Randy Orton match could have. I'm sorry, like, the Randy Orton matches suck.
Yeah, they've been boring, and you know what? I was really entranced by the maggots, the worms, all of the head games and mind games that Bray played when we were on the review last night.
Yep.
But going back to it today, it was pointless because he didn't win. Because now think about it, going forward, what can he do that would ever scare an opponent? He was beaten. So he can never do any type of, that can't be replicated again in any way, shape, or form, because it didn't work.
This is the worst match of the night. I mean, as far as the most, like, confusing thing that happened. This honestly was the most confusing thing. And you can't tell me, if you're in the WWE or whatever, and you're like, what's not to understand? The good guy beat the bad guy after all this.
But Randy is really not the good guy either, like, he was with the Wyatts, he was the heel, and then he became the face, but it wasn't really a full face turn, like, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, Bray's the guy who needs to sort of be something. That title didn't seem to mean a lot on Bray. It still, to me, doesn't mean a lot now with Randy. Bray Wyatt's not scary. Again, it's, you will face the fear of loss, like, I'll lose at every WrestleMania. He burnt the guy's sister Abigail down. The biggest thing that happened to me, believe it or not, this is crazy. At least this is how I feel. These two fighting for each other, when they were fighting each other, I didn't think, my God, I can't wait to see, I hope Randy Orton captures that title, or my God, I hope he gets that title back. I never thought about that at all. The only thing I could think about was, man, Bray finally has the chance to get back at him for burning Sister Abigail's body.
Exactly. That was
what I thought.
Wasn't emphasized whatsoever. And that's the thing, too, like when Rusev was the heel, even though he was defending his wife with Enzo, that was an odd situation. This was odd, too, because Bray's supposed to be the heel, but yet his compound and his spiritual whatever advisor, I don't know what you want to call Sister Abigail, was torched down by Randy. So how is he the bad guy? Like, when you go back and you look at it all, I mean, especially in that promo package, it just, the payoff was not there. All the evil magic, it just served no real advantage, because Randy Orton defeated the Eater of Worlds in just such a standard fashion. I think that was my problem too. That they tried to make the Sister Abigail finishing maneuver like protected and look like it could be used out of nowhere and be super effective. I mean, look at the match that he had with Luke Harper. I think that would have been 100 times better here at Mania. Much more self-serving, and then the mind games really would have been taken to the next level since he was with the Wyatt family.
I'd rather see Harper and anybody. Orton is not. I can't stand Orton. I really appreciate Randy Orton.
I love the character of Randy Orton.
Well, I don't really love the character of Randy Orton at all.
I shouldn't say love. I like him.
You can love him. Stop sucking my dick. But you can love him.
No. Because the thing is, like, I've never hated him. I've never been against him. He's not my favorite, but I've always enjoyed seeing Randy. But last night, like you said, it was just like, this is gonna happen, And
there's sometimes when I enjoy Randy, and there's other times I don't. I enjoy him like when he comes out because his music is cool.
Yeah, I like when he gets real sinister, and that I like the crazy heel Randy. I think that was one of my favorite points in times with him, where he was kicking people in the head and doing all the punts and stuff like that. That's when I really enjoyed him, and the total off the wall.
Why? Because he wasn't a friggin' zombie. I enjoy his like professionalism and his He is he's a good wrestler. Like, I mean, absolutely, like, what he does really, really well. And not many people at all can do what Randy Orton does. And let's make that a statement. But for me, personally,
the club is calling. Cronin Club.
He just bores me. I mean,
he just doesn't do much.
I have more appreciation for Orton because of like him being hurt by inanimate objects. Like, so much respect for him going through that TV in WrestleMania 30 and like busting his back and then having to get back in there. I mean, that's the type of sort of respect I have for him. But other than that, he does not entertain me mostly. Mostly he's capable of entertaining me like on like Raw or like when he's doing certain things. Like, okay, let's back it up. I'm saying the wrong thing because he definitely did entertain me. He entertained me on the SmackDown cut promos that he did with Bray. However, the problem with Orton is eventually he's going to have to get in there and wrestle, and I'm not going to like it. That's the problem.
I think he's capable of putting on fantastic matches because we've seen some really good stuff from him. But I don't think he
can you name some because what matches? Because please tell me where they are.
I'd have to go back through.
You would have to go back through because you can't tell me because nobody can.
I can't think offhand. I mean, I know if I actually sit here and think right now, I could be like, oh, him and Triple H put on a good match at WrestleMania. It wasn't the greatest, but it was good. I don't
remember that.
Maybe you are right. Maybe you are right. Maybe nothing was ever great, but it was always solid.
Yeah, he always puts up like a 6 or 7 match that's like really good, really safe. Good job.
Yeah, maybe you have helped me come to a realization there because I can't just go ahead and pick one with him.
His execution is like a 10. I mean, this guy executes beautifully. He's got wrestling lineage. He's really good. But obviously his character is so good that like that builds him up. He doesn't have to do all these crazy things in the ring. But yeah,
wow, the fact that you just did that, the fact that I can't just be like, oh, well, you name another wrestler, and I can be like, all right, well, this match on this date was great. With Randy, I'm sitting here, and I'm like, all right, well, yeah, of course I could think of...
He may not have good matches with AJ either, because he's like a fucking statue in there. Randy Orton is like, a lot of times, he's like a goddamn statue in the ring to me. Like, I mean, I don't like Cena that much, but name a Cena match. Okay, I will. WrestleMania 22.
Money in the Bank, with CM Punk. Daniel Bryan, SummerSlam. It goes on and on. I could do it with Bray. I could do it with, But like you said with Randy, wow, you really, what an epiphany there.
Bray's even had good matches with Roman Reigns.
I've always defended Randy, and I've always come to, his honor in the sense of like, but yeah, you really kind of bitch slapped me with that one.
You know how I would have
a little bit of knowledge.
I would have booked that match where like the maggot thing was going on the whole match, like it was sort of the theme. Randy Orton takes Bray to the outside. They get outside the ring. Randy Orton rips the mat up on the outside. And Randy Orton, or Bray Wyatt rips up the mat on the outside, something like that. Then Bray backs up and gets ready to run at Orton. Then he runs at Orton and jumps off the apron or something like that. Randy Orton RKO's him on the solid cement ground outside, and Bray's out. And it's like, oh shit, the crowd's popping because that just happened. He rolls Bray in the ring, then starts to get himself in the ring, and he rolls himself in the ring. And as he rolls himself in the ring, the thing happens again, and Bray is up in that fucking scorpion thing he does, and he just fucking scatters towards Randy. Randy goes to RKO him again, and he catches him, and fucking Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt wins. That would have been fucking way better.
And when they lifted up the mat on the outside, they had all the bugs underneath it.
Oh my god, that'd be really fucked up.
That would have been really, But now, like I said, the bitch slap here is kind of, the sudden realization that you are right. I do have to agree with you. You backed it up with truth and knowledge.
I think Orton had a hardcore match with, like, Mick Foley, I think, that I liked.
Yeah, he had a decent
Undertaker
feud as a
and Orton.
killer.
I think Undertaker and Orton had some kind of good match. Maybe Shawn Michaels and him did it. I don't remember. So there you go. I just don't fucking know. All right, let's move on. I guess. I gave that match a 5. Short, I give that a 5.
You give the match?
I gave it a 5.
5. I'm gonna give it a 6, but I wish they didn't do the ring psychology if he wasn't gonna win.
Yeah, I didn't. I just don't understand that. I mean, of all the good things that happened, that was the one thing that I just went, what the fuck? I couldn't. That whole, and I don't remember the match at all. I remember the RKO at the end, kind of, and I remember thinking, wow, that was it. And so, like, all that is bad. So that's why I'm giving it a 5, because not much was worse, other than the women's match we'll get to after. What was after
the only
this?
match I could think of is Rob Van Dam versus Randy Orton at Armageddon 2003, 4, somewhere around there. That was good, but
yeah, some of those earlier matches with Randy were better too, because he was way more like agile and stuff then.
Yeah,
he was more willing to like go out and show what he could do. Where after 04, 05, I feel like Orton was like, "Don't hurt me." I don't know.
Yeah, he really got into that safe mindset where he's going to hit his, trademarks and then get the hell out of there.
He doesn't have. I mean, to his credit, I mean, he doesn't have to do a lot because his character is so big that he doesn't need to go out there and fucking do something stupid. He knows what. And by the way, he also has been injury prone. He's got issues with the arm and stuff. So, I mean, he has hindrances there. I mean, he may want to do more, but if he does it, well, now he's injured a year. So what the fuck is the point of that? So he may argue that, he'd be like, well, you want me to get fucking hurt for a year? I'm trying to do what I can do. So I get it. There's no defensive thing here. I'm just saying what I saw this is what I felt off of what I saw. What was next after this? Was this Goldberg or was this the women? I forget.
This was Brock and Goldberg. Really quick, though, I just want to touch into something before we forgot to mention the Battle Royal in the beginning, too.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
My favorite part from that was the security guard, the female there, that had to be tapped to, let her know that, because she grabbed Gronk hard and she pushed him into the barricade. Yeah. And then another security guard comes over and taps her and she's like, "What?" And she's like, "I got him." And they're like, "No, he's okay." But what a shitty payoff. If Big Show really is done, I mean, that's something we have to mention on this episode of State. If Big Show is done, and there's no more WrestleManias for him, what a terrible send-off. Love him or hate him, he has been in the business for so long now. And he really, he's never been fantastic to me, but he has done a lot of memorable things throughout the years. He's been in some great feuds, some he's 1-5 or 1-6 at WrestleMania anyways, so but
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's too bad that he didn't get that match, that moment with Shaq or whatever it was. It
would have been cool.
Even if it was dumb, we would all ragged on it probably, but it would have been nice for him because at least it was like a big, meaningful sort of thing. It's a high celebrity type of deal. I wish we got him and Braun.
That would have like we got it Raw. That was a great match. It really was. That was probably one of my favorite Big Show matches.
That whole Battle Royal was a piece of shit. That was one big fucking so we can get the newspaper tomorrow. Yeah. That had nothing to do with anything other than Mojo Rawley and Gronk will be on. This will be on ESPN or something.
Yeah.
I
give that Battle
else.
Royal, on the pre-show, a 3.
Fuck that Battle Royal up the ass. And listen, I'm a Patriots fan, obviously, in Boston, but...
And the Patriots cleared him to be involved in this, too, by the way. That was reported.
Which is hilarious. he gets injured for the season, but he made it to Mania. Gronk is a fucking nut job. He's probably drunk right now.
I'm sure he is.
But yeah, so what do we got left here? The women, the main
women's
events?
match, and there was a lot of botches in this women's match. I mean, they were almost cut for time, I heard at one point, and then they said that they revised some of the match so that they could still fit it on the card. Because they went an hour over originally scheduled.
That was pathetic. Pathetic book.
Natalya trying to put the sharpshooter on Carmella and Naomi, and she falls, and then she can't get herself back up and lock in the maneuvers, and then Carmella essentially should have won the match because she was laying on Naomi for a 7 count. I think the Diva Bible pointed that out to me on Twitter, so shout out to the Diva Bible.
I mean, Becky Lynch thought she had black girl hair. Fucking Mickey James thinks she's an Indian but a cowboy at the same time. I mean, there was so much
cultural appropriation there.
Yeah, this was SJW's worst nightmare match, which I thought was funny, but fuck this match. Fuck them for even it should have been Alexa Bliss and Naomi.
Yeah, and then Alexa goes ahead and she sees Natalya come back in the room, and she starts screaming, and she's like, nope, I'm out, and she slides out of the ring, and then she's yelling at Carmella, you don't belong here, and slapping her around, and she was very loud, but I don't know. I just felt like they neutered her pretty quick, Yeah,
it went. SmackDown went from the women on SmackDown to so SmackDown took a shit. I mean, somehow it managed to be worse than the Raw women, who have absolutely atrocious build on Raw and atrocious decision making. But somehow the virus spread to SmackDown because boy did that suck. We got typical shitty women booking. Fuck that match. They should have just had a female battle royal. They should, if they wanted to get all the women on the card, have a fucking 8-minute battle royal with the women. Throw everyone over real quick. Somebody wins, gets a shot on SmackDown or whatever the fuck, and that's it. And then have the goddamn match for the title. So,
yeah, and I also forgot to mention, somebody had tweeted me last night. They're like, so much for there being surprise entrance, huh? And I was like, you know what? You are right.
It will be on SmackDown, probably.
Yeah, we talked about Kelly and all these things going on here, and didn't get any of it.
Fuck Kelly. Fuck Kelly. Don't come back. Don't come. Oh my god, I'm so mad about that match. I'd probably give that a 3.
Yeah, going back, I'm 2.5. I was really just not impressed.
I don't know if that's gonna lower my rating of the whole Mania based on. I'm gonna try to add it up and see what I actually come to. I gave WrestleMania 33 an 8 with like a little bit of a hesitation that maybe it could be a 7.5, but we'll see what it comes out to when I average these numbers in a minute. So that was a piece of shit. I'm going to tell you something surprising. I'm actually going to give Goldberg and Brock, and this is maybe some people will be pissed off, but I'm going to give Goldberg and Brock an 8.
I'm going to give them a 9.
Really?
You know why? I was expecting 5 seconds. I was expecting exactly F5 seconds. That's it. I thought Goldberg was going to go to spear. I thought Brock was going to catch him, F5 and pinfall. And for what we got, exceeded my expectations, blew him out of the water. The 10 German suplexes, especially after hearing the complaints from Goldberg saying that he's sore, he's hurting, he's bloated, he doesn't want to do all this, he's in pain, For him to take all those bumps and the spear through the barricade, Lesnar jumping all the freaking way over Goldberg was incredible. I mean, he cleared 6 feet.
I don't care what anybody says. This may have not been your fucking typical wrestling match. Let's face it. This was a big-time, dumb fucking brawl between two fuckers. And you know what? That crowd was lit for it. And they pulled out some things that I'll never forget. I will never forget Brock Lesnar leaping over Goldberg right there. That was awesome. And just like you said, they both pulled out every move they could have done, and they did it to each other all in the span of whatever the fuck, 5 minutes or whatever it was.
It was 4 minutes and 46 seconds.
It actually felt like 8 minutes. The match felt like it was 8 or 10 minutes long, not 4 minutes. That's crazy. So
just the fact that Goldberg didn't pass out walking down that football field length ramp was impressive. It
couldn't have gone any better. These guys, nobody botched really anything. They nailed everything. Every time people did a move, the crowd popped for it. So you may not like this as a classic wrestling match, but on the excitement factor, the audience factor, my hype, the entertainment factor, and the execution factor, I'm giving it an 8 because this fucking thing. I have trouble myself, being that I'm focusing on the wrestling a little bit more, giving it more than Triple H and Seth, because I'm giving credit to Seth and Triple H for the length of the match too. They did this shit for a long time. Brock and Goldberg only did it for a short time, so that's why I don't quite think I can give it a higher rating than that match. But absolutely, you may individually have liked this match better than anything else because it was so fucking exciting. So, giving that an 8. And let's move to the main event, The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. So, this is a difficult one. Oof. This is a difficult one because it started out all right, and then it started to get really slow, and you could see The Undertaker there was one point when Undertaker was like skip walking, like an old person in the ring.
Yeah.
I caught that and was like, whoa. I think it was a little too long, to be honest. I think like a little bit too long. And I don't mean like the ending parts, because that was building a story sort of thing. I don't like it because I don't like part of it because I don't like how just, Shawn Michaels retired Flair and Flair's like, go ahead, hit me and try, like, kill me. Like, I hate that whole, like, okay, kill me, I'm done, like, shoot me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they did that with Shawn and Flair. Then they did it with Shawn and Undertaker. Then after that, it's like now we sort of did it with Triple H and Undertaker too, and now you're doing it with Roman Taker, and it's like I hate that. I hate the whole I don't want to have to kill you, but I will. Like we've already told that story so many times, so that pissed me off. I didn't like that, and they kind of didn't do it too much, so it was all right. I wanted even if they didn't turn Reigns heel, which. They should have just made him obviously a heel. But, so that pissed me off. Him winning clean, we knew it was probably going to happen and it was going to piss us off. So, don't get me wrong, I'm pissed off about the fact that he just won clean. But, he should have won and been like, it's my yard, bitch. Like, he shouldn't have been like, oh, I'm not sure. Oh, man, what do I got to do? And the Taker, he should have been more like, I told you I'm gonna drop you, you know, type of thing. He should have been. I mean, even that's still his character, even if he's not. So whatever. But there was the tombstone botch, which whatever. That actually didn't bother me too much because both men were spent at the time. So to be honest, I almost thought like the minute they couldn't get him up for it, they should have both fallen over and just been down for a count of like 7 or something until maybe Roman got to his feet, because that would have showed you like, wow, look, they're out of breath. And maybe and I know I'm rambling and you'll get to talk in a minute, but JR came out there and I was just really happy that he got to be there.
I loved hearing his voice again, especially because Cole drove me nuts.
It still didn't save the commentary for me though, because nobody was. They should have been. I feel like there was many matches that WrestleMania where the commentary should have been a little more exciting. That was one complaint I had. The commentary was a little bit. It's just backed off just a little too much. I want it to be a little more heavy in your face, and hear JR just talk about the desperation of the Undertaker, and is something like that, and there was none of that really, and then Michael Cole would step in because maybe JR wasn't doing enough, but then is Michael Cole supposed to talk? But anyway, that's the commentary. But moving back to the match,
yeah, I mean the table spot, getting speared through the table, that was devastating. Cool. Unfortunately, Undertaker had Roman on his shoulders, and then Roman was supposed to flip him up into the tombstone. Roman never got to hit the tombstone. That was a big botch. He tried to pick him up twice and just couldn't, navigate his long body. The big dog couldn't lift Taker up. That was an unfortunate spot. But besides that, there were several Superman punches. The choke slam, the tombstone, that looked great. Roman receiving that. Roman did sell at points too. I'll give him credit. Yeah. He tried to do his best. Typically, I don't want to shit all over Roman Reigns. I really don't. We've griped enough about him. Everybody knows how we feel. All in all, I enjoyed what they gave us last night. It still doesn't feel right out of all people to have Roman be the one to retire Taker, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe moving forward, we get a better storyline coming out of it.
I disagree with the booking. I do, but I'm giving the match a rating based on like how entertained I was by the match. Yeah. Like to me, that's my rating. I didn't want Roman to win like this. I thought it was fucking stupid. But that's a different thing aside. Like when I hear like some other people will review it and they'll say, "Oh, it was garbage because of this," but like the booking didn't come into play as far as like me being entertained by the match. So the booking sucks, I think, or the decision making there. Maybe Roman will do something tonight where it will make sense. So we'll have to give that a chance.
I mean, Roman immediately tweeted out after the fact of something about having to crush his hero or something like that. Like I won, but it was almost a loss, something like that.
Yeah, see, that's stupid.
I had it in front of me before.
That pisses me off.
Yeah.
That pisses me off. No, because you said you were as your yard. Now all of a sudden you've back. Fuck you. I hate fucking Roman Reigns. That's such a faggy fucking response.
It really is. Like he said, I did what I had to, but it doesn't change the fact that the dead man held the yard down for years. For that, thank you, Taker.
That's fuck that up the ass. That fucking pisses me off. So don't even. Oh my god, fuck! You're making me pissed off. But I'm gonna give them. I gave the match a 6 though, with the whole story included and everything. I mean, nothing's the retirement of Taker coming back and dropping the thing. I mean, that almost registered as a separate rating all in itself. It was terribly sad. It was unbelievably hard to watch and weird to watch, but exciting to watch at the same time. It was very strange. It was similar to like when your favorite character dies in a show, but you still can't you can't stop watching it or something. Because it was just a great performance or scene, or you're seeing this emotion. All the emotion that was lacking in the build-up to WrestleMania, but the WrestleMania itself, to me, had much emotion in many things, and that was crazy right there. So
yeah, to bring a tear to my eye, I mean, the proposal certainly didn't make me well up with any type of tears, but this did. And I really want to touch up on the fact that the ring crew left the Undertaker's, apparel in the ring as they tore down the entire set and the building and everything, and that was a nice touch too. No one came and took away his stuff. So you saw there was a shot, I think, on ESPN.com of an empty arena, just the ring crew cleaning up, and Undertaker's hat and duster and gloves just still right there in the center of the ring.
Yeah.
I also love how emphatic he was about his retirement. There's no because we've already seen the crowd chant "Thank you, Taker" and watched him, walk to the back and then collapse, or walk to the back, and we've had that "Thank you, Taker." We had it at 30, we had it at 32. I like the fact that we know it's definitive. He took off his gloves. He hung up his gloves and he's done. This was his last ride.
Yeah.
He said he wanted JR to call his last match when it came time. JR was there. He took off his gloves. He said there's, apparently he's tweeting too. It's not verified though. So.
That's where he never tweets.
Yeah, it's WWE Mark Calloway. So I don't. Yeah, WWE Mark W Calloway is the account. I don't know if it's really him.
Mm-hmm.
It only has 54,000 followers. I'm not sure. I mean, it's connected to the Facebook and stuff, but it says new chapter, new generation. And it says, there will never be an Undertaker again. I leave on my final last ride with WWE. I say, may my legacy rest in peace.
Yeah, that's cool. I think he wanted to help. I think he wanted to pass the torch to someone, and it seems like Roman's the guy to do it with. And I think he had no problem doing that, and that's clear as day. If you add up all my ratings that I gave this show, it actually comes out to a 6.6, which rounds up to a 7. But,
yeah, mine was at a 74. So I just counted all mine up, and so I believe, if I recall right, maybe somebody. Well, actually, I didn't grade this match yet, so I gave this match an 8.
But again, I don't want those Alexa Bliss match or whatever the fuck to drag the whole thing, my rating down, because I gave that a 3, so it drags everything down. I think that's not fair, because if you went over the last couple years of WrestleManias, I think it's going to be hard to find me say this match was an 8, this match was an 8.5, this match was an 8. And maybe even a 9. Something could have been a 9. The Taker leaving. I mean, this WrestleMania was clearly better than even 30. Because 30 was Daniel Bryan's moment was awesome, and that was the whole story of the whole Mania, pretty much. But that was just one thing. This WrestleMania had multiple different matches that did different things, and again, it was comparable.
WrestleMania 30 had the Shield against the New Age Outlaws, right? I mean, there wasn't a lot to entertain you. What did we have there? We had Randy Orton and Batista, and obviously Daniel Bryan, and then Daniel Bryan and Triple H, and then we had Undertaker, Lesnar. But Cena beat Wyatt that night. They had the Andre Memorial that Big Show won. They had the Divas Invitational, Usos, RYBACK, Los Matadores, and the Real Americans, and then the Shield versus KANE and the New Age Outlaws. So it really wasn't a great pay-per-view. There was memorable moments of the streak ending and Daniel Bryan winning, but that's it. I won't go back and rewatch anything but the first and last match.
I enjoyed seeing the New Age Outlaws. the match wasn't...
Yeah, I did too, but the match lasted, 90 seconds?
Yes, I don't remember, but I was just marking out for that. But yeah, it's just not close to this Mania. This Mania was at least 2 grades higher than that.
Absolutely.
So anybody that says that that's crazy is crazy themselves, because last year was not good, really. The year before that was not really good. And the year before that was still not as good. And what was 29? Was 29 good? I don't remember.
29 was good.
Really?
There was that had Undertaker versus CM Punk. That had The Rock lose to John Cena for the title. I liked their second match. There was a few things on there that I enjoyed. But all in all, I'm still going to stick with WrestleMania, giving it an 8.5, based purely on the entertainment factor alone. The fact that I can go back and rewatch this. I said all weekend I was being nostalgic, and I was watching this match and that match, but I didn't watch any show in its entirety. I can go back through and watch this entire night and be completely happy.
Absolutely. This thing, it did what my prediction a month ago was, that it would be like WrestleMania 8. Hopefully it would be... we can only hope that it'd be like WrestleMania 8, because there's so many matches and different things. Now,
I'm psyched about what we have going forward. We have a ton of news, we haven't even touched upon, really, of, besides the news of fans threatened to boycott WWE. Shut the fuck up. The Undertaker's done. How much more could he give us? He broke his body over the years. He did as much as he could for the company. I know people aren't happy that Roman was the one to retire him, but how much more could he have done? So thank you, Taker, for everything you've done. You've been a part of my life for over 25 years now. You were everything in my childhood, and really shaped the wrestling fan that I am today. And I cannot thank him enough for his career. But I'm not going to boycott because Roman was the one to do it. So
yeah, I'm not happy with what they did with whatever. But I mean, listen, this is probably what Undertaker want to do. I'm over that. I get they were going to do this. This is not surprising. I mean, like why? Whatever. I'm whatever.
So going forward, we have so much to look forward to, Joe. Really quick, we've got all these NXT call-ups going on here. I mean, there's a ton. Pro Wrestling Sheet is saying who's going to get called up tonight and tomorrow night for SmackDown. The Revival is rumored. Nakamura is heavily rumored. Asuka is even being thrown in there at this point in time. There's a lot. We have the Hardy Boys being there tonight, and they're going to go ahead and have their welcome home. Finn Balor, is eventually going to come back. I like that we didn't see Finn and Joe in the sense of just to have them interfere in the match.
We ended up getting an amazing wrestling match. Thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, look at the possible contenders against Brock Lesnar going forward: Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, or even a returning Finn Balor. And the fact that Almas, Ty Dillinger, the Revival, and Nakamura are going to be called up from NXT at this point is pretty much all but confirmed. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez spoke about definitely Ty Dillinger being so over and saying that they really want him to come up. The Royal Rumble was a test to see how the crowd would react to him, and obviously everybody loved it. Almas, Nakamura, God, that talent alone. Hopefully they do things right. This hopefully is a bit of a mini reset before they actually do another brand split. Really quick, I know we're about to get the hell out of here, but two little bit of spoilers. If you guys don't want to hear it, fast forward 30 seconds. But here we go. Here's your chance. Spoiler warning. Finn Balor has been seen at the Amway Center where Raw is being held tonight. So obviously, there's pictures of him. He is there. He's in the building. Not only in photo, but he's throwing up the Too Sweet sign. He's got luggage with him too, so hopefully he should pop out tonight. And also, it's supposed to be revealed that Kurt Angle is going to become the Raw general manager tonight. He's been reported at being at the Amway Center too. So
yeah,
there we go.
I can't wait. I hope tonight is crazy as hell. I'm very excited for Raw, guys. We'll be live after Monday Night Raw, so make sure to check out the channel. And if you're new, subscribe. State of the WWE constantly being done almost daily now on the show. And that is about it. Follow me on Twitter at Joe Cronin JCS. You can find Jake at Countdown Ended. And you can go, what's the vape website? We're plugging a new, if you vape out there, this fucking site is awesome. Someday I'll get this written down so I remember.
Yeah, it's silvercityvapors.com. And this week for WrestleMania week, if you go ahead and you use coupon code WWE at checkout, you get 25% off all your purchases. So, if you buy 4 bottles of premium e-liquid flavored juice, you get one for free, essentially, with 25% off. It's great. They have free shipping, too, for any purchase over $50. It's a local company that was, created in Connecticut, so it's USA based. They make high quality vaping, products, a ton. I sent Joe the flavor list. There's dozens and dozens of flavors. Everything's guaranteed. They offer a bunch of varieties, so great stuff.
Well, I also want to let you guys know that right now, if you want to place your order to get the new Slam Crate, go to lootcrate.com/Joe Cronin Show. So that's lootcrate.com/Joe Cronin Show and enter in coupon code Joe Sent Me, and you're going to get a percentage off your WWE Slam Crate that's coming out soon. So make sure you sign up for that if you want to get the special Stone Cold Steve Austin box or Slam Crate that's coming out. Also want to remind you that if you don't like Slam Crate but you want to get Pro Wrestling Crate by Pro Wrestling Tees, if you go to ProWrestlingTees.com or ProWrestlingCrate.com, enter in coupon code Cronin, and you'll get a percentage off there. So just in case you're going to any of those things, want to make sure you save. So there's those coupon codes. And that's it. Leave a comment down below. What did you think of WrestleMania? What is your rating? Leave it in the comments below with your rating. If you saw this entire podcast we just did or heard this entire podcast, we'll know you listened to it by giving us your rating down below. Do you disagree, agree? Let us know. All right, guys, tell somebody about the show, and we'll grow these numbers a little bit more. And thank you to everyone who's supporting on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. As you know, YouTube is fucking us up the ass, and YouTube don't give a shit anymore. And not only that, but the advertisers are leaving, and we're barely getting paid anymore because everything is fucked. The Wall Street Journal is enemy number 1 right now. Fuck them. I hope that place fucking, well, you know, we'll see what happens to them in the future, because they're obviously a bunch of lying scumbags at the Wall Street Journal. But people like you guys with the donations and the monthly support on Patreon or donating live on the show, you guys help either way, and you guys fund this show to make this actually possible to do it, so that I don't have to do it only once a week or so. I can do it every day. So thank you very much. I want to thank Pat O, for supporting and became a Cronin Club member yesterday on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. So if you want to support the show with $1 a month, $2 a month, if you're rich as fuck, maybe you want to do $20 a month, I don't know. Whatever you think my show is worth that you can deal with, it is so much appreciated. And I want to thank you to Pat for becoming the 67th patron on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Every month, $5 will come out and go to our show and go to me. So thank you very much for directly supporting me. Thanks to everyone I met at the Internet Darlings and in Florida. It's good to be back in Boston, but I had a blast in Orlando. More video footage of that shit coming soon. The Hardys, thank you so much to Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy for being so nice to us, as they always are. And for the podcast movement to host us in their booth to do a 1-hour podcast, and to Colt Cabana, who put his nipples up against the glass and showed me his breasts. Thank you so much to Colt Cabana, and to Pro Wrestling Tees as well, who was there helping us.
Oh, and we teased talking about RYBACK, but never really got into it.
Oh, you're right. We teased it. We should probably, I'm so strung out on this, but let's mention it. I don't want to go into it now. I'll tell you what, let's tease it for another show.
Absolutely. I was
That's
going
to
say
piss people off, but
we'll go ahead and we will we'll break it down entirely for everybody, because there's a lot more to be said that hasn't been said yet since he replied on his podcast. So
yeah, I just think that it's weird. Like he lies about me, but then is mad that I made fun of him or something. But I didn't make fun of him; somebody else did. But and then he was upset that I called him a pussy a bunch, I guess, and maybe I did. I don't know. And yeah, it was very, very strange. I was just trying to apologize to him. He wants to see me murdered, I guess.
No, and that pisses me off that you even felt like you needed to apologize. You know, it's a parody. My God.
I don't know.
I know, though.
Well, come on, Joe.
He's got some understanding, to do.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Fuck it.
We'll get into it. All
right, guys.
We'll see you live for Raw tonight.
See you live after Monday Night Raw. Make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't. Thanks for the support.
The club is calling. Cronin Club.